go
What's-
today?
No coach is ever really happy with the way practice went. So, it's always a lot to be sharper with the preparation or whatever. But good practice.
What's got to be different for when I'm assuming you want to play a different style, not have 45 combined turnovers, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure both of us wouldn't, don't want to play as ugly a game. Obviously, that game they kind of trapped in the half court first pass, which you really don't see a whole lot of, of that in college. So I think that kind of caught us off guard a little bit. We got to, they obviously they didn't have a whole lot of respect for our ball handling, how strong we'd be with the ball, and then they switched a lot of screens, and when people trap you and switch screens, that just puts you in a position where you got to be strong with the ball and you got to make quality plays. Offensively, individually, you got to go by people, and then you have to assess the situation because we took too many contested shots at the rim. So we've got to do a good job of obviously, getting the ball to the paint, assessing the situation, and making the right play. But they punked us. Precious punked us, on the glass. And again, it was another one of those games where we didn't make enough plays down the stretch to win.
Scoring better, 3 straight games, 70 points. What do you attribute that to?
We're doing the same types of things, same types of schemes, concepts offensively, same. I think the ball's probably moved a little bit better. We've got out in transition more, got better looks early in the clock. We haven't settled quite as easily for the first, available shots. So, but I think in general, though, the ball has probably just moved a little bit better.
You're shooting so much better on threes than you had been. Is that doing the things you talked about, getting up to the line better, or moving the ball better, getting more of the kind of threes you want?
I think we've gotten tighter to the line. We've had the ball. We've had more possessions where, you're getting the ball reversed a couple times. We've made better decisions when we've gotten in the paint. James and Jalen and Christian the other day. 7 assists, no turnover game. I think we were 17 assists, 12 turnovers. Game goal for us is always 16 to 18 assists, 10 turnovers or less if you're a good team. Just knowing when to get off the ball and just move it. We've gotten better at that, and shooters shoot better shots when the ball gets to you on time.
You guys have been pretty strong defensively most of the year, but the last 3 games, Igbanu, Hunt, Trey Scott, similar type players have all kind of gone off on career highs. Is that defensively? Is that where you need to improve a little bit? The power forward type of guys.
Yeah. So Igbanu, we really prepared for that not to happen, and and it happened. But our overall defensive numbers in that game, we literally took everyone else away and played a great defensive game at Tulsa. I thought for in that one, and in the Cincinnati game, the plan was to try to take Voigt away, who killed us the first time, and Cumberland away, and force Scott to beat us. So that was kind of the plan there. And then SMU, I think, just going in, we knew that was just going to be, that's one of the best offensive teams in the country, and we just, individually, we lost so many one-on-one battles, and just I hope that was just like an outlier, really bad night on the road versus a great offensive team. We've tried to do the practice plan the last couple of days to get back to our identity, and we got very far away from our identity at SMU.
Hey, Coach, it's reported that it's going to be a sellout tomorrow. Do you have a message for the fans in particular?
Yeah, thank you. We need you guys, come, get there early, be really loud. I think, I've been through this before, with the program. When you're just starting out and you're not very good, and the crowds aren't great, and then as you start to show signs of improvement, and a future that looks bright. Obviously, very, very, very smart basketball fans like, the Husky fans here. They they understand where we're at, where the program's going, and they're showing up for this team because of how how the team's battled the whole year, and because they're obviously excited about the future. But this is kind of when you're on that climb back up, crowds start getting bigger, games become a lot more exciting, and I just think that this fan base I think they see the direction that the program's going in, and they're buying in and want to see us go.
Let's go. Cook hit a little bit of a wall. I mean, obviously
Yeah, I mean, it's just hard for him, just his body type and everything we've asked him to do right from the beginning. And he was he's been the anchor of of a strong defensive team for most of the season. But just just physically, he's been a shell of himself. We've tried some different things recovery-wise and with practice to try to get that energy back for him and that pop back. But he's been a shell of himself, and it's and then losing Tyler and having Sid hurt, it puts us in a really bad spot at the 4, and so it's kind of like the perfect storm of events there. So, but he's definitely hit the wall. We've been just trying everything with him to try to get that second wind, because he was a huge part up until really just a couple games ago. He was playing so great, and just want to see him finish the year at the level that he's played at the whole year, because it just these last couple games have not been a good reflection on how great he's been for us the whole year, and how great he's going to be moving on from this, when he could obviously physically mature. His physical maturation is a huge part of why he's kind of hit the wall here, and a lot of it we're not going to be able to address until we get to the off season with him physically.
Travel schedule gets a little easier over the next few weeks. Does that help a little bit?
Dave, he's on lockdown. That was brutal, right? For a couple of weeks. We lost some of our group here. Couldn't even go, right? It was bad. No, it's better, and it was a long flights.
I mean,
it'd be nice to have some bus trip.
Not to use it as an excuse, but I mean, fatigue could play an issue with some of the guys.
I think everyone's dealing with it, and it's just, I think it's the conference. I mean, everyone's kind of dealing with the same thing. Obviously, it's long trips considering that they're conference games, and to take so many of them. It's just that it feels odd when you're coaching in Connecticut and you're playing games in Oklahoma and Texas.
you got 3 of the next 4 at home, I guess. So
Kansas. We didn't go to Wichita this year, so
probably get some momentum coming up with it.
Yeah. No, these guys know where we're at here. We obviously we're taking this one game at a time. We understand the process we're in as a program, but there's a lot for this team to play for. We've had some quality wins. We've beaten some teams that are NCAA caliber teams, and we've minus that St. Joe's game, which still is tough to look at on the schedule to this day. And then the week the week to start the conference play, we've been a good team without the type of record we want. So just want this team to attack these last 7 games and see if we can put ourselves in a position to continue to play meaningful games and have a chance to play for the postseason through to the end of the season.
Yeah, when you look at this at the league, Memphis picked near the top, they're kind of in the middle. Tulsa picked at the bottom, they've been near the top. It seems like there's no great teams, but there's no easy games either. Is that kind of what you thought it was coming in?
Yeah, I mean, the league this year, there's a lot more good teams, I think, than last year. That we don't have that elite team like Houston was, or a team like maybe as good as Cincinnati was last year, and they're still obviously NCAA team. But I just think that the league, you know, there's just more good teams this year than there were across the board. It's a tough, it's a tough conference to get a win in this year, home or away. You know, it seems like, every team could beat you, and there's no nights off in the league. And, Tulsa's, having a really good year because they're older, and Memphis is, obviously, you lose a kid like Wiseman, and you have a lot of freshmen and sophomores running around on the court. It's unless they're all a collection of Zions and, Barretts, you're gonna lose. And especially in a league like this where there's so many older teams.
You were just up in Toronto and seeing a guy up there, and then Andre made Jordan Brand. So what have you seen from those two guys that this season?
Yeah, just more help on the way. Obviously, we've got to continue to shape this roster. Next year is a huge year. Going into our first year in the Big East with some really exciting young talent, and you add those two guys to RJ and Richie, who are sitting out, and obviously the late signing period here. We're really close. We're a whole lot closer than we were a year ago. When you infuse the program with additional talent and athleticism and skill, and guys that could do some of the same things that Book Knight and Cook and Gaffney has flashed this year as freshmen, it's we got a really exciting two more exciting guys coming, and then obviously the two other guys sitting out that are also have a chance to really help us. So we know where we're going, and but we want to finish this year well.
Big man scored 37 when you were there, right?
Yeah, he's like he's really tall, and he knows how to post up, and he's got a presence out there, and the fact that he's 17 years old and doesn't turn 18, he's got a great future when he gets in here, and in May and gets a chance to work with Sal and get stronger and continue to just work with us. He's got a great future. He understands basketball. He's got really good feel, and and he's really learning how to pass because he's surrounded by people in those games. So.